Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins, fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, seal of pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steel and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready for another amazing night of racing action, as it is the Campbell's Kneecap Soup 180 live here from Michigan International Speedway, here with the always amazing Full Throttle Outlaws. As these drivers get ready to duke it out, they get ready to go to battle. Qualifying currently underway, so they're laying down their quick times here, trying to get themselves stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here for this main feature event. Each and every one of them trying to put themselves into the top spot here this evening. As K-Dub, Mr. Winker, says, Michigan, baby, home track for Mr. Bruce Muehlberger. Let's go, baby. The Big M, Michigan. Woo! Let's get it, chat. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a really good race. Really fun racetrack. Obviously, we see a ton of, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide when we get these drivers out there on the racetrack and rolling and rumbling out there here at Michigan, man. And it can make for a lot of fun. As JNT says, bro, what's this music? This is custom-made music. JNT, custom-made music here for the Full Throttle Outlaws, brother. That's what that is. As, yeah, custom-made music, and it's some great music, some great tunes for all these drivers to kind of get pumped up, to get excited, and get ready for what's going to be an absolutely amazing show here this evening. As each and every one of them getting done their qualifying session right now, it is Clinton Woodby with the quick time there in qualifying, and qualifying has come to a close. So that means Woodby will start in the pole position here this evening. Oh, baby, they're actually getting a little bit of a warm-up session here, a little 5-minute warm-up session. Okay, normally we don't see that here in the pavement racing action, a little bit of a warm-up, but we do here tonight, so we do get to see our pole sitter, Clinton Woodby, slide out there first. He's looking to try to get that extra couple laps in, trying to make sure that his car is absolutely perfect and ready to rumble here today. Is that beautiful 92 out there on the racetrack. Beautiful winning bid die-cast in card brakes ride, ready to rock and roll here this evening. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. And as we said, man, 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe even a little 5, 6 wide out there on the racetrack. Drivers definitely have to worry about tire wear. They got to worry about fuel mileage, and that's all that can come into play. Now, we do know that there is a stage break and virtually a competition caution at lap number 20. So, 20-lap run to start. You don't really have to hold back. You may want to try to save the tires. You may want to try to keep a set back there for later in the race. So maybe you try to take it easy. Maybe not push the car. Drive it hard there in that first stage. Just wait until the end of it and then kind of maybe save a set of tires. But I'm assuming we're going to see everybody probably come down pit road either just before that stage break or just as that stage has come to an end. They will head down pit road. They will make their first pit stop, and that will set us up here for the final run of the day, which should probably be just under 70 laps. We'll probably get about 3-4 laps under the yellow flag, so that means we'll probably get rocking and rolling back towards, the completion of lap 24. I mean, we'll have about 66 laps of racing action left to go for that final run. Now, Biden caution flags and everything else, that could change, that could mix things up, and we could see, a lot of short runs, or we could see a couple really big long runs here this evening. I think that's more or less what we're going to see here from Michigan. Michigan always tends to go that way, tends to open up, tends to make it a little bit more of a, long green flag runs out there, so that could really make things interesting here for later in the night, especially when you see drivers having to come down pit road just like the 92 ride just did, making green flag pit stops. It's no easy task. You got to come out of corner number 4. You're virtually rolling about 160, 170 miles an hour. You got to get that car checked up, slowed down, and into pit road without an issue. And you also got to make sure you don't speed down pit side. You get a pit road speeding penalty, you got to make a pass-through penalty, you got to get held down pit road. You can quickly go a lap or two down, and with very minimal caution flags, potentially here at Michigan, you may never get that lap back. You may end up being and finishing this race a lap down or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. So to give yourself a shot, to give yourself an opportunity to maybe even win this race, you got to put yourself into that winning situation. You see Ryan Rose out there, Jackson Connell out there in that 39 ride. Here comes Michael Miller as well in the 77, that Budweiser machine ready to rumble here this evening. Tristan Kyle in the 23 ride, he slides out there. Here comes the 20 of Philip Tuscano. Tuscano slides out there, the Interstate Batteries 20 ride, looking fresh here this evening. Skyler Berry and his double bubble machine ready to slice and dice here this evening is the 46-cent car ready to go to battle here today. Scott Rankin out there as well. Good to see Rankin out there on the racetrack. Another beautiful looking ride here. Another new looking ride out there on the racetrack, as well as the Wanted Goons. The Nero Power Machine ready to go to battle here. Okay, the Wanted Goons. I like it. I like it. As we'll get them all ready to rumble. We'll get them ready to go to battle here in this one. There's that king of beers right there. That beautiful 77 of Miller out there on the racetrack. We do see K-Dub, Kevin Winker. He's going to have a little bit of fun out there in that Muhlenberger Custom Homes Winker Nation ride. He's doing a little early race celebration here. I'm not sure what he's celebrating, but nonetheless, hell yeah, Winker. Burn it down, baby. We love the smell of burning tires here on a Friday night, as Eric Hardy in the chat says, here for the 97, baby. Let's go, Peacemaker. Let's go, Mr. Hardy. How are you, Eric? How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Friday. And my boy, Caleb Ramsey. What's good, Ramsey? Ramsey coming in, showing the love as well, dropping that heart reaction here on the broadcast. K-Dub himself also with that heart reaction. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we'll get ready to we'll get ready to go to battle here in just a couple more moments. This warm-up session is coming to an end, so that means we will get them ready to duke it out here. Our main feature event about to get underway. The Campbell's Kneecap Soup 180. I'm not sure what in the world kneecap soup is. If one of you guys can fill us in on that one. I have no idea what kneecap soup is, okay? I know Campbell soup, and I know they make, like, tomato soup and chicken noodle soup and stuff like that. We got Campbell's up here in Canada. Come on now, but I ain't never heard of no kneecap soup. I don't know if that's, like, a football reference thing or something. I'm not sure what in the world is going on there with the kneecap soup 180 here tonight. Is Shauna Rita. Shauna says, let's go K-Dub. # Winker Nation. in. Winker Nation in the chat right now. If you're cheering on Mr. Winker here this evening, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. As K-Dub says, stage is lap 20, Peacemaker. Just an FYI. I already said that, K-Dub. You missed it, brother. We've already talked about it. We already went over the stages and the length of the race and everything else. Come on now. You think this is my first day in the office? You think this is my first day up here? Come on now. I knew it was 20 lap stage. Come on. Come on, K-Dub. No, I'm just kidding. As here we go. Getting them ready to go here. As he says, I'm behind. Laugh out loud. I guess so. I guess so, Winker. You got to catch up, brother. You got to catch up not only out there on the racetrack, but here in the stream as well. What in the world, my boy? What in the world is happening? No, I'm just kidding. As here we go. Getting them stacked up, getting them racked up. They're going to roll out onto the racetrack here. As the Campbell's Knee Soup 180 about to get ready to rock and roll here this evening. As here we go. It is Clinton, the Kneecap Soup 180. Clinton Woodby, Scott Rankin 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack. Starting in that front row for the 92 and the 49. Ryan David Trailer will start back there in position number 3 to his outside in the 39 ride. That is that Ignite ride of Mr. Jackson Connell. Starting in position number 5 in the 5 machine is the Razor ride. That is Matt Hayden. To his outside is the 78 of Ryan Rose. Starting in 7th in the number 67, it's Greg Wood Jr. To his outside in the number 97, it's Colton Hardy rounding out our top 8. Starting in position number 9, it is the 87. That is Joe Yakes. And I do believe starting in the 10th position in the number 3 machine will be Keith Prince in that JJM ride out there on the racetrack. Starting in position number 11, the 20 ride, that is Philip Tuscano. Then we see the 18 ride there. That is Evan Schilling, who will start to his outside. John Salino, Michael Yakes, Michael Miller there in the 77. K-Dub, Kevin Winker back there about that 15th position. Tristan Kyle there to his back bumper. And then we see the number 13, a Greg Wood Sr., Adam Benefil, Skylar Berry, Rusty Modesty back in 21st. Jesse Wines and Jesse Galloway bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here at Michigan International Speedway. As Clinton Woodby sees that green flag flag, he'll lead us down through 1 and out of 2. He'll slide up the racetrack as here we go. 2, 3 wide. Drivers looking to take some runs down the back straightaway as they are looking to make some early moves. Who will get the advantage? Who will take the control of this race? As here we go, Scott Rankin down low. Rankin's gonna jump up and he will take the top spot away from the 92, but here comes Jackson Connell with a big run down low. Connell can't quite get there. Scott Rankin leads lap number 1 here this evening. As Eric Hardy says, cold Miller Lite and ready for some racing, sir. Yes, sirski. That's what I'm talking about right there. Nice cold Miller Lite and a little bit of racing. Nothing better to do on a Friday night than that right there, man. That is the dream, as we do see that down the back straightaway. 39 ride showing some muscle here early on. Jackson Connell jumps out in front as the 49. Scott Rankin's going to slide back into 3rd as here comes Clint Woodby down low, looking to slide up in front of him, and it is a dogfight back there behind these guys. Everyone trying to figure out their way up towards the front. One driver making some big moves here early on is this 23 of Tristan Kyle. Tristan already up 8 positions here, now parked in about that 8th spot as he battles to the outside of the 20 ride of Philip Tuscano. And these guys, man, he's been moving forward, man. This is a big run early on, and now the big question's gonna be, is tire fall off? How are the tires going to look like here, especially after this initial run? We have 20 laps before our first stage break here this evening, our only stage break, which you can virtually call a competition caution, with a few points being handed out for our top 5 out there on the racetrack. So you get 20 laps, you run as hard as you can, you get to really get the gist of what you have, what you need, and how you need to get there towards the front, whether or not it's through tire saving, tire management, just trying to keep those tires underneath of you for the longer run, or potentially having to try to find some more of that just pure natural speed out there on the racetrack, just trying to see if you can keep pace with some of these guys. Even if you're burning up those tires, you may have to use that, especially if it's a shorter run, to try to hang with them. You can't give up too much time that you may not be able to get back later in the run. So drivers that are sliding backwards, that are not having the best start here, when we look back at Michael Yates in that 93 run, in that Miller Genuine Draft 93, a look at John Salino, some drivers that have fallen back now a couple seconds, they've fallen back a few positions. They may have to try to hang on to each and every spot because you don't want to give them up. It may not bring an opportunity for you to be able to regain and drive around some of these guys. Even if you're saving tires, you may still have a tough time finding your way back up to where you would have been. As here we go, see the 9 ride of Adam Benefield. Benefield is going to make the move around that 33 of John Salino, and Salino in that Sonic Graphic Designs number 33 ride slides back another position. Started up in about the 12th spot, now falls back into about 17th here. Not the start that he wanted on the day. It's Jackson Connell out in front, leading this one. Scott Rankin working his way back up into position number 2 as the 92 of Clinton Woodby falls back into about position number 5 as they're getting a little bit squirrely back here behind him. Everyone trying to find their way through it. We saw Ryan Rose down onto the apron. He loses a ton of speed and momentum. There goes that JJM, that Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 3 ride. A Keith Prince around him. As Rose falls back about 4 spots on the racetrack. The 97 rider, Colton Hardy, he's down 3 positions there in 11th, but he's got Kevin Winker, Yanks, and that 77 of Michael Miller right there on his back bumper. A great battle brewing here, man. These guys are putting on a show for us. Virtually mid-pack here on the racetrack is out in front. It's continuing to heat up. It's Jackson Connell with the race lead, but David Traylor trying to take position number 2 away from Scott Rankin. Here comes Matt Hayden. Woodby's trying to battle back into this one. Here comes that 67 of Greg Wood Jr. He's going to set it deep down low, and Philip Tuscano right there as well. And not too far off them is that 23 of Tristan Kyle. But we talked about how Kyle was able to gain 8 positions here early in this race, really move forward in a quick hurry, but maybe starting to feel the little bit of aftermath of using those tires up in those first few laps, starting to run a little bit slower than our race leaders, and unfortunately running just that little bit slower. He's not really gaining on these guys. He hasn't been able to get into this fight for a top 5 here in this first stage. So we'll have to wait and see if he can try to find a little bit more, see if he can try to make some moves and join this battle up here towards the front of the field. As here comes that 67 Greg Wood Jr. now inside the top 5. He looks down low underneath of Clinton Woodby, hoping to try to pass that 92 as here comes Scott Rankin. Battle into the back bumper here of our race leader. Jackson Connell will lead lap number 8 here this evening, but here comes that 49 looking to try to take the race lead back away. As Eric Hardy, Eric coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction here on the broadcast as well. I appreciate that, Eric, coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. As can we get the update on the lap counter? Ooh, yes, thank you for bringing that up for me. Unfortunately, sometimes the overlay just does not automatically refresh itself, so we got you guys. We got you guys with a quick little refresh here. And that should be good to go. There we are. All right, there you go. There we go. Thank you for bringing that up for us, JNT. We always want to make sure that's working. As Brandon Noah says, hashtag Winker Nation. The Undead Horde says, let's go, Greg. Cheering on Greg here today. Amanda Joy says, hashtag Winker Nation as well. As here we go. A battle up at the front of the field continuing to brew. As that 39 ride trying to hold on to the race lead, but Scott Rankin trying to take it back away. And right there, trailing on their back bumper, it's David Traylor Jr. in position number 3 with, here comes our pole sitter, the 92 of Clinton Woodby, the 67 of Greg Wood Jr. right there in the battle. As Matt Hayden falls back to 6th. Philip Toscano there in 7th with Tristan Kyle there in 8th. Ryan Rose and Kevin Winker, K-Dub up 7 spots early in this race as that Muleburger Custom Homes at number 42 ride. The Winker Nation machine rounds out our top 10 here on the racetrack, and early on up 7 spots as well. K-Dub working his way up towards the front of field here. Now a bit of a gap between himself and our 11th place driver. About 1.2 seconds there between Winker and the 77 of Michael Miller. Is out in front. Rankin rolling the high side. The 39 of Jackson Connell down low. They're going to drag race down and out of corner number 4 back to the start finish line. And it looks like that 49 of Scott Rankin will stay out in front. So Rankin has the race lead, trying to hold off that 39 right now as man, Jackson not giving up. Does not want to give up this race lead. Knows that there's some good, valuable points on the line here if he can win this stage. If he can hold that 49 right back there at bay. Finally gets the run he was looking for down through 1 and 2. Slides back up in front of that 39 right. Now they're going to go reverse rolls down here into corner number 3. Rankin takes the run down the back straightaway to the inside of that 39. They're going to look to battle door to door and at corner number 4. If they stay door to door, it could open up the same scenario down here through 1 and 2 for Scott Rankin to try to make that move around Jackson Connell. For Connell, being able to take that race lead back away, though, if there's a caution flag, he'll control the restart and potentially keep himself out in front for the rest of stage number 1. But right now, man, he's got his hands full. There we go, down through 1 and 2, sliding up in front of him is now, look out, 67 bouncing around, there's contact, oh baby, here we go, 92 is around, caution flag is on the racetrack. So the 67 ride of Greg Wood Jr. gets a little squirrely there out of corner number 2. Unfortunately, bounces off the wall back down the racetrack. Ends up clipping the 5 ride and the 92. Some pretty solid damage on all of them. Let's see if we can get another look here at the 67 of Greg Wood Jr. Greg's coming out of corner number 2, and it just looks like he gets loose right here. Gets a little loose, comes up the track and ends up bouncing it off the outside fence. Trying to keep it out of it, comes back up the track. And then he's going to get a little love tap right there. 92 right, not expecting him to lose so much speed and momentum. Ends up helping him up and into the fence. And then he kind of just bounces back down onto the racetrack and right into the middle here. And all of a sudden, unfortunately, nowhere to go for the 5 ride as Matt Hayden comes in right here. Bam! Right into that left rear quarter panel of the 67. Shoots him down the racetrack into the right rear quarter panel of the 92 of Clinton Woodby. That gets Woodby turned around, pointed the wrong direction. And that's what will put us under our first caution flag of the day. So a little bit of bumper cars out there on the back straightaway, and that will put us under the yellow flag for the first time, and that means we'll get an opportunity to see if any drivers take the chance to come down pit road early, or if they stay out. Looks like they were going to fake it right there. We thought we were going to see a few. Here we go. We do see Matt Hayden. Hayden, who just got that damage, definitely looking to come down pit side, try to get that car fixed up, hoping not to use a quick repair this early in the race. Now, surprise is Ryan Rose. Rose coming down pit side. Didn't really have any damage on that car, but making the call to come down pit road here early on. Same with Keith Prince in the 3 machine. Prince, another driver that was running solidly there just inside our top 10. Does have a little bit of rear end damage, so I'm not sure if someone ended up getting into him or if he got a little contact somewhere else. I'm not too sure where he may have gotten the contact there to the left rear. Nonetheless, he does take that JJM machine down pit side. We did see Clinton Woodby also down pit road. He'll get his 92 ride fixed up, repaired. In the 33, that's Sonographic Designs. Number 33 ride, the Big Haas Motorsports machine also heads down pit road here. So some early pit stops from about 5 drivers. Hayden, Woodby, Rose, Salino, and Keith Prince all come down pit road here. We did see Greg Wood Jr. not come down pit side, even though Greg ended up with some pretty serious damage, not only on the right side, but the left side after bouncing it off the fence, after bouncing it off the 92 ride, and that rear end damage on the Fast House machine. Not sure why he wouldn't come down pit side, try to get that at least a little bit repaired, a little bit fixed up. But nonetheless, he'll keep rolling out there on the racetrack, maybe trying to save a fast repair. Or I'm not sure why he wouldn't come down and just get that damage looked at here before our stage break and a few more laps, but we'll have to wait and see kind of how this all gets played out as the lights are still on the official iRacing pace car. I do believe this time by the start finish line, the light should turn off, and we should get the one to go here to go back to green flag battle here this evening as they're going to complete lap 15. That means we got 5 laps left to go here in stage number 1, meaning that when we go back to green flag racing, it will be a 4-lap shootout to see who can win stage number 1. So stage number 1 coming to a close quickly here this evening as Scott Rankin has the race lead. That 39 of Jackson Connell in position number 2. David Traylor in that 3rd position with Philip Toscano. The 23 of Tristan Kyle rounding out our top 5. Kevin Winker there in position number 6. And then we see Evan Schilling in the 87 of Joe Yanks. Michael Miller in the number 9 ride of Adam Benefill, I do believe. Actually, no, it's the 97 of Colton Hardy up there. And out our top 10 here as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to battle here as what can Scott Rankin do? Can he hold off that 39 ride? Can he keep these drivers back there at bay and win stage number 1? It's going to get very, very interesting here in a quick hurry as we get ready to go back to green flag racing down and out of corner number 4. Alrighty, so here we go. Pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side here at Michigan International Speedway. For the 49 ride of Scott Rankin has the race lead, getting ready to see that green flag fly, and down through the Geico restart zone. Here we go, back to battle here at Michigan in a great restart for Scott Rankin as Rankin gets a great jump quickly onto the lap pedal right there, trying to get that 49 ride moving, hoping to try to break a little bit of the draft off his back bumper here to these cats, trying to hunt him down. Jackson Connell hoping for a big run down the back straightaway, hoping that he can find the run to get back down to the inside here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He'll side draft a little bit off that left rear quarter panel, shoot down to the inside of corner number 3, now has room on the bottom side of the racetrack to slide up and in front of Scott Rankin, but Rankin is going to be coming with some pretty good speed here down the front straightaway. Where does he take it? You see the 39 ride trying to throw maybe a couple little blocks right there, trying to dump a bunch of dirty air onto the hood of that 49 ride, hoping to slow him down. Unfortunately, not enough was done, and here comes Rankin right back down to the inside. Now the good news is for the 39 ride is that if you guys continue to keep swapping positions and everything else, you know, you may end up in the top spot here as that checkered flag flies, as it kind of keeps reversing roles lap after lap after lap. They kind of go back and forth, but this time down through 3 and 4. 39 ride kind of cuts down the track there a little bit more, kind of checking up that 49 ride. Unfortunately for Scott Rankin, he has to roll out of the throttle is down across the line. They will click off another lap, and I do believe we will see the caution flag come back out. So the caution flag going to fly here once again, second time this evening. Now I'm not sure what the yellow flag was for. Let's take a look at the 4 ride. I do believe this is where we're going to see it. Right there is the Shitty Coolers machine. Gets into the Pabst Blue Ribbon. A collab just waiting to happen as Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Shitty Coolers definitely make for a great party out there on any occasion. Unfortunately, they just get kind of tied together right here. I'm not sure if the Shitty Coolers ride, if they just kind of get running out of room here, maybe bouncing off each other a little bit. Let's take a look at it. As down another corner number 2, 69 up on the high side, 4 ride down low. Get tight together there. They're still tight. They're still tight. And then they make a little contact right there. And then, there we go. All right, so the 5 ride, again, just kind of has his nose in there, trying to take as much speed and much run that he can to either help the car in front of him or try to help himself go forward. Obviously, the 69 ride getting bent into shape right there. Lose that little bit of speed and momentum as he comes back up in towards that middle lane. Ends up going over the nose of that 5 ride right there. You get a great look at it as this little bit of contact. So there's the contact. It shoves him up towards the fence, loses a little bit of speed, comes back up, and all of a sudden goes right over the right front of that 5 ride. Kind of washes him down into the 4 machine of Jesse Callaway, and that's what spins Callaway sideways. They both get back up into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage and contact for both of those drivers, and more damage for Matt Hayden there as well, even though it was fairly minimum. Still a little damage there for the 5 ride, as that is our second caution flag, and that is going to end stage number 1 here this evening, as drivers electing to make pit stops, other drivers electing to stay out here. And we do see those drivers that came down pit road during that first caution flag now leapfrogging everybody else, taking the track position, playing that role to kind of move forward here, and it's Ryan Rose who now has the race lead. John Salino, who's in second, Keith Print in third. And Clinton Woodby, they're in position number 4. Rusty Modesty back in 5th here. Great pit stop there for that 6th ride as he slides up into the 5th position. Jackson Connell there in 6th. Scott Rankin back in 7th. David Traylor Jr., Philip Toscano, Tristan Kyle rounding out our top 10. Michael Miller, Joe Yakes, Adam Benefiel, Colton Hardy, Matt Hayden, our top 15 out there on the racetrack. Greg Wood Sr., they're in 16th with Evan Schilling back in 17th. Then we see Michael Yanks, Greg Wood Jr. there in the 67 ride, and Skylar Berry rounding out our top 20. K-Dub Kevin Winker back in 21st, Jesse Wise in 22nd, and Jesse Calloway back in 23rd, as all these drivers will get ready to rumble. They'll get ready to go back to battle. They'll get ready to try to feel it out and see what they can do here. As our stage has come to a close, that means that we're into our final run of the day here, potentially, where we may not see another caution flag. Now, the way the last couple laps have went, we have seen some contact, we've seen some rubbing and scrubbing. That may continue on, or it may clean itself up. We'll have to wait and see, as these restarts are going to be vital, as you know, most of the time in pretty much any style of racing, cautions breed cautions. And for these drivers just wanting to try to make it to the end of this race, not having to run into issues or having to try to rebound throughout their day, is going to be the main game. The name here this evening is just trying to be consistent out there, trying to keep yourself in that track position, not wanting to make mistakes, not wanting to slip up or slip and fall backwards here, as if you do go towards the back of the pack, you may not be able to navigate your way through that traffic without end up hurting yourself in the long run, whether it's burning up fuel or burning up tires or potentially just running out of time trying to work yourself back up towards the front, because no easy passes out here on the racetrack. You gotta earn each and every one of them, especially after we see a couple green flag lapses. Here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It's Ryan Rose and John Salino on the front row here. Rose in the 78 is the control car down through the Geico restart zone, and here we go, back to battle here in Michigan, as Rose gets a great launch and a great restart right there over that 33 and the number 3 machine, as both drivers gotta fall back a couple car lengths here down through 1 and 2. Now that's the one thing you don't want to see, is Ryan Rose get clean air and a lot of track in front in between him and the car behind him, as we do see Joe Yanks down onto the apron right here. Yanks able to catch it, keep that car rolling, keep that car pointing the right direction, rolls back up in behind the 67 right there. Greg Wood Jr. unfortunately does lose a ton of track position down the back straightaway. Is out in front, Ryan Rose with that race lead, trying to hold on to it, hoping that he can kind of break away from a little bit of the draft off the cars behind him, try to give himself that extra little bit of a cushion here throughout this run, trying to make sure that they can't catch him. And if they do catch him, it's going to take a little while to get there. Is Mark Beverly says number 5 must have lost his brakes. Lafayette definitely must have lost his brakes here this evening. That is for certain. I mean, things happen here quickly. A lot of times when we're looking at those replays, we got them in quarter speed, so they happen a lot quicker, and sometimes you're just not expecting it. You can't get onto the binders quick enough before that a little bit of contact, and that can cause some issues out there on the racetrack. As Mark says, let's go, Johnny Johnson Motorsports Boys says, I'll be back next week. Let's go, Mark. Let's go, baby. Listen, bro, we miss you out there on the racetrack, and we can't wait to have you back out there, you know, next Friday night, and hopefully we'll get you in there for some of the other series as well, my boy. We always like seeing all the you know, the big Haas Motorsports crew out there on the racetrack. As Mark Beverly does come in with that like on the stream as well over there on Facebook. I appreciate that, brother, showing the love here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like on the stream right now. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that share. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button or that follow button. If you're watching over on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as Ryan Rose continue to lead this race. Still just a little over 3/10 of a second between himself and Clinton Woodby. Woodby is trying everything he can to catch up to that 78 ride, but that bit of a gap that he was able to build off that restart really playing a factor here and really allowing him to just kind of keep this gap and manage this 92 ride from catching to his back bumper. We'll have to wait and see how long he can hold that and keep that 92 ride kind of back there at bay as Woodby rolls in position number 2. There's the 39 ride of Jackson Connell back in 3rd. Philip Tuscano into position number 4 in that Interstate Batteries ride, but here comes Scott Rankin looking down to his inside. Scott looking to try to work his way back up inside the top 4 here this evening. David Traylor Jr. right there, ready to pounce as well. There's that 23 of Tristan Kyle. Kyle early on moved forward here in a quick hurry, gained a ton of positions, lurched himself up towards the front of the field. They are inside the top 5. He's trying to battle back through it for a driver that qualified fairly deep in this race. He's up 9 spots on the racetrack, rolls in 7. That means he started back in that 16th position here this evening, starting in 16th and working yourself up inside the top 5, earning stage points here early on the day is absolutely incredible, and he's been doing a fantastic job here this evening. And they look right behind him now, back up inside the top 10. It's the 67 of Greg Wood Jr., one of the drivers that got collected in our first caution flag in the day. Matt Hayden's been tied up in the 2 yellow flags, very minimal contact, but enough that it's definitely hindered this 5 ride. He's rolling there in 9. Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10 in that QH Design 97 ride. There in 10th, Michael Miller, Keith Prince in that Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 3 ride. Back there in 12th, Evan Schilling right there behind him. Joe Yanks in position number 14, and it's Adam Benefill in the Mac Tools ride, rounding out the top 15. John Salino there in 16th with Skylar Berry, Gregory Wood Sr., Rusty Modesty, Michael Yanks, Jesse Wise, K-Dub, Kevin Winker, and the Muehlberger Custom Homes number 42 rolls there in 22nd. And Jesse Calloway, unfortunately here for Calloway, he is going to fall a lap down out there on the racetrack. A heartbreaker there for the Ford machine as he falls a lap down. That will unfortunately put him into a very difficult position, with the case that we may not see another caution flag. We may stay clean and green here for the rest of the evening. We may not see another yellow, and if we don't see another yellow flag here this evening, that could potentially just keep him a lap down here this entire race virtually. It's not a fun spot to be. He's hoping right now to catch a quick caution flag, get himself back on the lead lap, get himself back into the action here this evening, as it's never fun being a lap down and, you know, racing door to door with your fellow competitors, but it's not for position. You're just trying to fight for that lucky dog out there on the speedway. As Ryan Rose continues to lead the way, it was Jackson Connell able to get around Clinton Woodby, so Connell does jump up into position number 2, and he's starting to track down that 78 ride. So for Ryan Rhodes, able to hold off the 92, and a lot of these drivers here since that restart, but quickly the 39 rides catching up to his back bumper. Some of those cats that came down pit side on lap 19 have a few laps better tire, and it's starting to pay dividends here as we start to keep on clicking these laps off. Another good green flag run starting to brew here. Good to see that. Not the slew of caution flags continuing here this evening, and I don't want to speak too quickly on that, but here we go. Connell just trying everything he can, trying to find that gap to try to jump up and potentially take this race lead away. As Eric Hardy says, one at a time, buddy. Drive smart to the front, 97. Cheered on Colton here this evening, and that's one thing that a lot of these drivers and a lot of series, man, that's one thing that they got to learn, especially with a race like this. You know, we're on lap number 30 right now. We have 60 laps of racing action left to go in this race. Virtually 2/3 of what we've already ran here today. That is a lot of laps. It's a lot of time to try to work yourself up towards the front of the field. And if you're just trying to have a good day, earn some good points, and maybe put yourself into position to win this race, just playing it smart and being patient, picking and choosing when you make your moves, when you want to take that big dive bomb or trying to make a slide job, trying to make something happen out there on the racetrack to give yourself that position or that advantage here. sometimes it's not the smartest move. And sometimes being fast early on in a run burns up your equipment, burns up your tires, and for the later on, you start to fall back, you start to fall away, and all those other drivers that were saving a little tire start to reel you in lap after lap after lap, and eventually it rolls into their favor. So if this is going to be a long green flag run for drivers that are battling hard out there on the racetrack, door to door, and slicing and dicing it up, burning up your equipment may not be the smartest move for the long run out there on the racetrack. So you see Tristan Kyle, he's back up inside the top 5. You see Scott Rankin right there in front of him. Rankin trying to keep that 49 ride still up here in the battle, but for pretty much everyone that stayed out there, that came down pit side during that first caution flag before the end of stage number 1. Now the good news is, for the most part, they're kind of hanging on here. We see the 78 rider, Ryan Rhodes, obviously still out in front. He's got that fresh air, the clean air on the nose of that car. For the number 92 of Clinton Woodby's falling back to about that 7th position, so he's going to slid back ever so slightly here. Then you look back at Keith Prince, John Salino, they're back in position 16, 17. Unfortunately, they have fallen backwards. And now for a lot of these drivers, obviously, you came down pit side a few laps earlier. That gives you a few laps less of fuel, and that could also open up the world for a big hit or miss swings here throughout the rest of this race. If we see it stay clean and green, you're going to have to be the first drivers to come down pit side and make green flag pit stops here on the evening. So if you come down pit road, you know, and you're out there for 2 or 3 laps, you may be able to leapfrog some drivers, you may be able to carry a lot more speed, but if a caution flag gets thrown out, you could, you know, go a lap down or 2 laps down out there on the racetrack and could really put you into a hole with a untimely caution flag out there on the speedway. As Rose continues to lead this race, this time by the start finish line, will be about 20 laps of racing since we saw Ryan Rose and a lot of these other drivers down pit side there on lap number 14. Now for them, they did do another pace lap, so they probably went back to green flag racing with, you know, about 4 laps left in that stage. We did have the caution flag, so they probably saved a little bit of fuel during that yellow. So I'm expecting that the 78 and the, you know, some of these other drivers that were down pit side, when we look back at Woodby, when you look at some of these other drivers that were down pit side during that first caution flag that stayed out during the second one, they're probably going to have to start heading down pit road here. I'm going to say in the next 5-10 laps, we will see them probably work their way down pit road here this evening. And now that will get them to the halfway marker, but that still leaves them that they're going to have to make at least one more pit stop out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see if they can get luckier with the caution flag before they got to come down pit side, or potentially just try to roll the dice here and run as long as you can until you got to make your way down pit road. You just do not want to run out at the wrong time and kind of get stuck out in no man's land out of fuel here during the race. As the Undead Horde coming in as well, dropping that subscription over there on YouTube. The Undead Horde, welcome to the Peacemaker family, welcome to the Peacemaker crew here this evening. Hitting that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of Peacemaker Gaming. As Julius Home also coming in with that follow over there on Twitch. I appreciate that coming in, showing the love over there, as well as everyone continue to put on a absolutely amazing show for us here this evening, man. Some absolutely great racing, some great battles out there on the speedway, and for each and every one of them, man, they are just looking spicy here this evening. Here we go, the 39 rod finally getting down to the inside here of Ryan Rose, trying to make the move, trying to take that dump spot back away. But it's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway. Can he find the run? Can he find that groove to try to take the race lead back away from Ryan Rose? Or can Rose hold him off here as Jackson Connell down low, hoping to slide up maybe in front of the 78 Ryan, maybe throw that little bit of a slide jump down here. Looks like he's clear, and it looks like he's not going to pull the trigger. So the drag race back down to the line, but taking the race lead with a big run down through 3 and 4. The 39 of Jackson Connell out in front once again. So Jackson Connell back out in front. Ryan Rose slides back into position number 2. And for those drivers that made the earlier pit stop, that have the older tires, they're starting to feel that pain, starting to feel that pressure, and obviously feeling that the tires on these cars are starting to fade away and give out on them ever so slightly. And we may see that 78 ride head down pit road sooner rather than later, as looks like he's going to stay up for at least another lap here. We'll have to wait and see when these guys finally elect to come down pit road and take that green flag pit stop, as no one wants to be the first to make the green flag stop. No one wants to be the first driver down pit road making that green flag pit stop and putting yourself into that position where you could all of a sudden be a lap down yourself, or putting yourself into a tough position here. As the Undead Horde says, if you link your Twitch, I'll follow there as well. I got you. Let me see here. There's my channel over there on Twitch. Bear with us. You may hear an overlay here. There we go. Let's do that, and we can go back to that. And we can post that into the YouTube chat right there. There we go. All right, there's the link to the Twitch stream as well. If you guys have Amazon Prime, actually, and you guys want to help us out a little bit, if you guys go to twitch.tv/Peacemaker Gaming over there, it's the exact same stream you have over on YouTube, the exact same stream you have over on Facebook as well. If you guys head over there and sign into your Amazon Prime account there on Twitch, you can subscribe for free over there on our Twitch stream right now. Absolutely free. It's a little less money going to Jeff Bezos and a little bit of extra money coming to me. It costs you guys absolutely nothing. It's absolutely free. If you already have an Amazon Prime account, you automatically get one free subscription every single month. And if you're not using it, you might better use it and help us out a little bit here on Peacemaker Gaming. Sauce that Prime and show a little love here. Is the Undead Horde 88 coming in as well. Drop that follow over there on Twitch. Show the love there as well. Show the big love here this evening. I appreciate that. Twitch is one of those places that, I don't know, we've just never really seemed to catch a lot of good stuff. I don't know. We never really seem to pop off over on Twitch. There's the odd time where it's really, really good, and the odd time where Twitch really just doesn't seem to be it for iRacing. It doesn't really seem to be it for growth or anything else. I don't know what it is or why it's doesn't push out the streams or anything else. I'm not sure, what's going on over there on Twitch, but nonetheless, man, we just keep grinding. We keep grinding day in, day out, as the Undead Horde says, following on my alt account as well. Now let's go, following on the alt account as well. The Horde 88 coming in, dropping that follow, the double follow over there on Twitch. I appreciate that. Appreciate the love here this evening, Horde, showing the love here in this one. As man, some great racing, some great action here, is out in front, the 39 of Jackson Connell. Connell continuing to lead this race. Ryan Rose right there in second, as the Undead says, dude, I wanted YouTube to work for me, but it didn't, so I moved to Twitch and YouTube, and Twitch does move for me. Laugh loud. Yeah, see, it kind of just, I don't know if it's the certain games or whatever it may be, or just, just get lucky, I suppose. For me, I started on Facebook. I streamed on Facebook for a long, long time. Facebook since then has virtually fallen off, has virtually died. I don't even know what I have over there, 5,000, 6,000 followers, something like that, and it's kind of stalled out right there, and there's virtually no growth. The only thing that Facebook pushes out nowadays, they barely even send out live notifications. The only thing that they really push is short form content. So that's when we kind of went back to YouTube. We started kind of going to YouTube a few years ago, and we kind of stopped because it didn't really seem like there was anything happening. Nothing was really going on over on YouTube. So we stopped uploading there and focused just on Facebook, and then we started to come back to it here after Facebook kind of just kept falling farther and farther and farther down, and they seem to continue to keep on that trend, and we may switch things up. It's tough to want to leave Facebook. I feel like I'm always going to stream there, but, Twitch, you have YouTube. Now with Streamlabs, you can multi-stream to 3 different channels at one time. We thought about doing maybe a double YouTube stream, because you can stream on YouTube on both horizontal, like the main stream like you guys are watching right now, and you can also do vertical stream, like a real stream basically, where it's more vertical style instead of the way it is right now. I thought maybe that would work. Maybe that will help out. I'm just not sure how it'll play out with iRacing, because it may squeeze the screen in too much where you can't really see a lot of what's happening, or the overlays may be a little too small. So I'm not sure if that will work or not, but that's something we may look into in the future. I've seen some pretty good growth, and YouTube definitely pushes out the short form content a lot as well. It's one of those things you're always trying to battle with, you know, whether it's not between yourself and trying to figure out your own game plan and your own streaming stuff and where to grow and how to grow and everything else. It's very, very much high risk, high reward a lot of times. As here we go, we do see a lot of drivers talking about high risk, high reward. We do see a lot of these cats head down pit road. We did see Jackson Connell make his way down pit side. So Connell's down pit road. We see Jesse Calloway back down pit side. We did see Matt Hayden, Tristan Kyle, and Rusty Modesty all make green flag pit stops there around lap number 41, 42, back on lap 45 there for Tristan Kyle, and now on lap 46 for Jackson Connell and Jesse Calloway. Now for Connell, he's just rolling back out onto the racetrack. Our race leader is not too far back behind him, but we do see Ryan Rose now elect to come down pit side himself. Greg Wood Jr. also down pit side here, so he comes down with the race leader here this evening. Here comes Greg Wood Sr. following in behind Greg Wood Jr. here this evening. So they are coming down pit side, and that will forfeit the race lead over to David Traylor Jr. So David now leading the race here this evening as he's out in front here. Let's see, when does he elect to come down pit side? For a lot of these drivers, waiting too long potentially could hurt you in the short run. But in the long run of things, when you come back out onto the racetrack, the drivers that just made pit stops may be able to leapfrog you. They may be in front of you, but they're going to be on older equipment. You're going to be able to chase them down, probably pass them, and put yourself in front of them later in the run. And then, obviously, we're going to see these guys come back down pit side. We're just over halfway through this race. We're probably going to see them make their way back down pit side somewhere around lap number 70. I'm going to say somewhere around lap 70, 68, lap 72-ish, somewhere in there. We're going to see majority of these drivers come down pit side again here this evening, but you do see David Traylor electing to stay out for at least another lap. Same with Scott Rankin, Colton Hardy, Evan Schilling, Michael Miller. They're all staying out for at least another lap here, and same with pretty much everyone else inside our top 3 or 13, all the way back here to about Jesse Wise. But we do see Keith Prince and John Celino. They will come down pit road now together here on lap number 49 this evening. So it's going to get fun, chat. It's going to get fun. It's going to get interesting. These green flag pit stops can really open up the door for drivers to make some big moves. We do see Matt Hayden. He is leading all of the drivers that have made these pit stops already, including having about a 1.2 second gap between himself and Jackson Connell. But Connell came down pit road about 5 laps after Matt Hayden, so he's going to be quickly closing the door on him and catching up to that 5 ride. But as they continue to run, they are running about a second and a quarter, almost a second and a half quicker than our race leader. So every lap that David Traylor and the rest of our top 11 continue to run out there before coming down pit side, they are giving up that second and a half, 2 seconds a lap, where they're running much, much slower than those fresh tires. But it's going to be a big turn of events, but you just don't want to wait too long. You don't want to put yourself into a position where you have that issue. But for right now, it could play out perfectly for these guys. If they could catch a caution flag, potentially could give them a free trip down pit road and definitely better tires and everything else. But now we do see Colton Hardy make his way down pit side, and if we don't see anyone else, oh, here we go. Adam Benefield also going to make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road for that number 9 ride. So that's going to leave us about 9 drivers that have yet to come down pit side, starting with our race leader, David Traylor Jr., and the 69 ride back here in the 9th position. That is that Toyota Supra Shitty Coolers, number 69 of Jesse Wise. Wise back there in that 9th position. It's David Traylor, though, out in front. Here we go. He comes down pit road this time, so Traylor comes down pit side as the Undead Horde also becoming a follow over on Facebook as well. What in the world? Show them the big love, the trifecta here this evening. The follow and subscribe over on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Absolutely insane. I can't thank you enough. The Horde coming in, showing the love here this evening as All right, here we go. We see Scott Rankin. We see David Traylor. They come down pit road. That brings Evan Schilling, Joe Yakes, Michael Miller, Michael Yakes. We also see the 69 of Jesse Wides also down pit road, but taking a big gamble at it. Skylar Berry staying out for at least another lap. Same with Kevin Winker, K-Dub. We see Kevin usually pulling some pretty big strategy calls out there on the Speedway. Looks like he's looking to play another one here this evening, and it looks like he's going to stay out for at least another lap. So K-Dub takes the race lead away here. Kevin Winker now out in front, playing this strategy game, running longer than everyone else here as Skylar Berry does make his way into his pit stop, but makes a mistake, overshoots the box, has to throw it into reverse. That finally allows the crew to go to work on this Tootsie Roll double bubble 46-cent ride, and they'll get to work. But that couple seconds right there could cost him, the difference maker between a really good run and just a mediocre run there, as that could be a major mistake that could affect his day and could potentially take him into chances of winning this race. But Kevin Winker going to continue to keep on rolling here, staying up for another lap, and this is really opening up the door here. If K-Dub can keep on rolling, if he can run a few more laps, it starts to open up the door here. He was last down pit road on lap number 20. So that was just before we went back to green flag racing here. So he has virtually ran, I do believe, next time by the start finish line, completing lap 55. He's ran about 35 laps here, and now that we're on lap 55, that pretty much brings him to the same area that if he can run the same stint, if he can do the same amount of laps in the next run, if he can save that little bit of fuel, if he doesn't make a mistake coming down pit side or anything here, he may not have to make another pit stop here this evening. He may be able to race the rest of this one without having to make another pit stop. But the big question is going to be is those guys that just went by him right there. That was our race leaders. How close will they be if we stay clean and green? If we don't see another caution flag and another wave of green flag pit stops for these competitors, will it be the same gap? Will it really matter for Kevin Winker? Will he have the race lead after everyone makes that additional pit stop? Or will he be kind of stuck back behind them? We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, because it could play into Kevin Winker's hands. That may have been his final stop of this race. He may not have to make another pit stop here this evening, as Jackson Connell does take over the race lead. Now he was down pit side on lap number 46. Greg Wood Jr. down pit road on 47. Tristan Connell down on 45. Ryan Rose, he was also down pit side there on lap 47. They're slicing and dicing, making their way around Tristan Kyle and quickly rolling up to the back bumper here of our race leader, Jackson Connell. Matt Hayden, who pitted on lap 41, unfortunately his tires are fading away and he cannot hang with them. He is falling back now into that 5th position, and he is falling farther and farther away from those drivers in front of him. And now here comes that 54 rider, David Traylor Jr., playing the opposite end of that big long run for him and Scott Rankin. Some of these other drivers that stayed out a little bit longer, they now have the freshest tires on the racetrack, and they're running much better lap times than our race leader and some of these other drivers up here inside the top 3, top 5. So they're going to be quickly catching up to them, hoping to make some moves, hoping that they can make the passes and leapfrog these guys on the back half of the run, not the early half of the run. And now virtually as they probably do start to get past, we probably will see Jackson, Greg, all these drivers start to come back down pit side. By the time David Traylor, Scott Rankin, or any of these other cats start to catch them, they'll probably start to come back down pit road here again this evening. As they in front, Jackson Connell, nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4 will click off another lap. That is lap number 58 now completed here this evening. So 58 laps down here in this race, and these drivers are clicking them off in a quick hurry, man, putting on an absolutely amazing show for us, man, putting on a great show and some great racing here this evening, man. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting to see kind of how this all plays out. Obviously, we saw those 2 quick caution flags right around or just before our stage break there on lap number 20, and then since then it's been kind of a bit of a battle out there. A lot of these drivers have been trying to navigate their way back towards the front, trying to put themselves into position here to be there at the end. And now, does a caution flag make things potentially a little bit more crazier? Do we see some more issues out there? What seems to be The key here this evening to try to win this race, is it just pure speed? Is it a little bit of luck? Is it a little bit of strategy? How do you get it done? How do you put yourself into that position to win this race? We will have to wait and see here this evening, because, man, it is not over yet. We're nowhere close to being done here this evening, man. Still a lot of racing action left to go. Still a lot of time for drivers to put themselves into position to move forward, to make crazy moves, to make crazy game plans out there on the racetrack. When you look back and you think of Kevin Winker and staying out there, not pitting until lap 55 here this evening, lap 55, lap 56 for Kevin Winker. He's now back in about the 20th position, but for K-Dub being back here in 20th, he has the freshest tires over anyone else out there on the racetrack, being the last driver down pit road. So he's going to be quicker than everybody. He's got the better tires and potentially a really good race car, but at the same point in time, is he trying to save that fuel? Is he trying to be fast and save fuel? How do you do that and gain the extra lap or two that he may need on fuel? If he doesn't have to make another green flag pit stop, will it be enough for him to jump out in front of our race leaders and keep them back there behind them late in this race? Or will it all be for naught? Will a caution flag come out and ruin that entire game plan for that 42 machine, as the Winker Nation ride will be looking to try to put himself up and into victory lane, as Jackson Connell out in front, feeling the pressure here from Greg Wood Jr. as Greg down to the inside, looking to take the race lead away from the 39 ride, but Jackson Connell able to hold that speed momentum down through 3 and 4 and back down across the line. Will click off another lap, and that is now 62 laps completed here this evening. I do believe we only got 28 laps of racing action left to go here this evening. 28 laps left to duke it out here today. Is just over 2/3 of this race completed. 1/3 left to go here today. And this is the battle at the front of the field. Jackson Connell, Greg Wood Jr., and Ryan Rose all right there, passing each other as Tristan Kyle starts to slide backwards. Here comes David Trailer. Trailer ranking already around Matt Hayden as Hayden falls back to 7th. Tristan Kyle going to have nothing left in the tank here for the fresher tires on the 54 of David Trailer Jr. David will move around him, and now for Mr. Trailer, he's going to be looking to try to close that gap and chase down our race leaders. It's about 2.6 seconds between himself and Greg Wood Jr. as Greg Wood Jr. takes over the race lead here, puts that 67 ride out in front as the Fast House Machine here leading the Full Throttle Outlaws here in the Campbell's Kneecap Soup 180 from Michigan International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want you guys to get on your feet and cheer these drivers on. It's nice and easy down and through quarter 3 and 4, back down across the line. They will complete lap number 64 here this evening, and still quite a few laps left to go, about 26 laps left to go here in this race, but we will see the caution flag fly. Yellow flag on the racetrack, and that is a big one here this evening, as it looks like Tristan Kyle in the 23 machine going to run into some problems here. He was falling backwards, having older tires, and unfortunately the newer tires coming up behind him here. The 49 right coming with a big run, just gets in there, gets a piece of him, knocks him loose right there. He's sliding sideways, trying to hang on to it, overcorrects, launches back up the racetrack, bounces it off the outside fence, and all of a sudden that just changes the entire game here. What do these drivers do? How do they play this out? Do you come down pit side right now? I think for any of these drivers that were down pit road in the 40 area, you got to make that pit stop. You got to come back down pit road. Does it potentially use your final set of tires up? That is a potential. If you're a driver that came down pit road, around lap 51, lap 52, maybe even the driver like Kevin Winker who was down pit side there on lap 55. What's the game plan? Do you stay out? Your tires aren't that old, but they're not going to be as good as fresh tires here that some drivers may take. But could you get lucky in, another 5-6 laps and see another caution flag where that could potentially put you out in front? Here we go. Here's the gamble. Some drivers are going to elect to stay out. One of them being Jackson Connell, who came down pit road on lap 46 and just lost the race lead. This is a surprise to me for the 39 ride, as we do see Clinton Woodby, Scott Rankin, all these other drivers down pit road, as Woodby does miss his pit stall, but you see Scott Rankin second. He's putting fresh tires onto the 49 ride. We do see the 54 of David Traylor getting fresh tires here. So this is going to be interesting here. Fresh tires going on some. Other drivers maybe taking 2. Other drivers maybe just taking no tires here, getting the fuel here, trying to make it to the end of this race with maybe not having to make another pit stop. But I feel for all those drivers that just came down pit road, they are good on fuel. They do not have to make another pit stop here this evening. But for a driver like Jackson Connell, Michael Miller, Keith Prince, Kevin Winker potentially may be able to make it. But for our front 3 with Prince, Michael Miller, and Jackson Connell, definitely Jackson Connell and Keith Prince will have to make a additional pit stop here this evening. So I'm not sure if they're just banking on another caution flag later in this race where they can have that set of fresh tires still back behind pit wall, put them on and use it at the end to put themselves into the winning situation potentially. Oh, that's a big gamble, man. That is a whole lot of what-ifs and a big, big gamble, because if you have to make a green flag pit stop, not only are you going to lose time from that, but you also have older tires than all these drivers back there behind you. And for, Winker, yeah, it may only be, 5, probably about 7, 8 laps of green flag racing difference maker on tires, which isn't necessarily awful. But when you look at Jackson Connell, who was down pit road on lap 46, he's going to have about 16, 17 lap older tires than a lot of these drivers back behind him, and that may make him just a sitting duck. That may make him a bit of a pylon out there on the racetrack, but we're going to get ready to see how this all plays out as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here for this restart. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. We will crank it up here this evening as Mark says, go figure. Yeah, that's a tough one right there. As Kevin Winker says, 2 weeks in a row, these guys ruined a fuel mileage race. Yeah, for K-Dub, that one definitely sucked. That one definitely sucked there for him. As Hardy Boy 97 coming in with that follow over on Twitch as well. I appreciate that. Hardy Boy showing the love over there on Twitch. As B-Claw 160 says, let's go Wood Jr. Cheered on Wood Jr. here this evening. We had just seen him take the race lead before that caution flag. Now back a few spots. We'll see if he can work his way back out in front. As here we go, getting ready to jump into the Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Cheer on your favorite driver here this evening as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, there it is. Caution flag back out into the air. The yellow flag is back out here this evening, so a late race caution flag, and this is another one that's going to mix things up here this evening. Another yellow flag, another opportunity for drivers to make some moves out there on the speedway. One of them going around here is this number 39 ride, as the 39 at Jackson Connell obviously struggling, sliding backwards here after the start. Old tires here on the 39 ride was getting very close to probably having to make a green flag pit stop. Then down at a corner number 4, corner number 2 there, just gets really loose down through 1 and 2, and launched up the track into the outside fence right here. Now he was kind of already loose down through corner number 1. Let's take another look at it. Shoots it down low deep here, and then just rolls onto the throttle and just loses the rear end. Wiggles there a little bit. Car goes around, washes up the racetrack, keeps on sliding, and then all of a sudden ends up into the outside fence. Pretty heavy contact there for him. Damage on 3/4 of that race car at least, as everyone else able to avoid him, but that does put us back under the yellow flag here this evening, and that will really mix things up here, as some drivers not going to be able to come down pit road or not wanting to come down pit side, may not have an extra set of tires here for late in the race. Other drivers may not want to give up the track position, but we do see Rusty Modesty down pit side, Jesse Calloway, here comes K-Dub, Kevin Winker, Joey Yates, Michael Miller, Colton Hardy. Here comes Evan Schilling, Tristan Kyle, also down pit road in the 23. Here comes Jackson Connell, also down pit side here, who had just went around. Now for Connell, should probably have a quick repair still in his back pocket. We'll see if the crew can get that fixed. There it is. So he does get that car fixed, and I do believe, see if he gets tires onto this thing. Doesn't look like any tires going onto the 39 ride, as it looks like he's getting ready to leave, and there he goes. So no tires onto the 39, but we'll have to wait and see. Kevin Winker may still have had an extra set back there behind pit wall. We'll have to see if potentially Rusty Modesty, Jesse Calloway, any of these other drivers had some fresh tires still up their back pocket. Unfortunately there for Greg Wood Jr., we saw contact between him and the 78 rider Ryan Rose. They were battling up inside the top 5. Both drivers all of a sudden fell out of the top 5 after that contact, almost brought out the caution flag. Unfortunately for them, no yellow at that point in time, which probably would have helped them out a little bit more, as both drivers lost a few positions. For Ryan Rose, not too far back, but for Greg Wood Jr., he virtually almost came to a stop there on the front straightaway. Really had to catch that car. It was a great piece of driving, being able to keep it from going around or running into more issues and keeping it rolling there, keeping the green flag out. But now we'll have to wait and see what he can do, if he can try to battle back up towards the front, back into this hunt here at the front, as David Traylor and Clinton Woodby have been putting on a heck of a battle here at the front of the field, as Megan White says, what a drive to the front. Woodby, and definitely a great run here for Woodby. Great run for David Traylor as well, as they just clicked off lap number 80. So that means we got 10 laps of racing action left here this evening. We'll get ready for what could be potentially our final caution flag of the day. Do you guys think this will be the final yellow flag, or do you guys think we will see at least another caution here this evening? What are you guys thinking? How you guys wanting this one to play out? Will another yellow flag affect this race? Will we see another yellow flag potentially put these drivers into another weird situation? Do we see a driver from deeper in the pack that may have just made green flag or made pit stops work their way up towards the front? Do we see Modesty, Winker, potentially even John Salino, Evan Schilling, Colton Hardy back there? Tristan Kyle, can he work his way back up towards the front? What about Jackson Connell, who virtually brought that caution flag out, as we did see Connell actually go back down pit road right here? So I think getting the quick repair could not get tires onto this car, so we had to make an additional pit stop, and there you go. During this pit stop, he comes down pit side, gets the fresh tires he had behind pit wall onto this 39 ride, and now that he's got those fresh tires, he'll join the rear of the field. Can he go from the back of the pack back to the front of the pack here this evening to try to cash in on a checkered flag here today? As here we go, getting them ready to go back to battle. It'll be a 9-lap shootout. What do you guys think? Our final restart of the evening, or do we got another restart or two in our foreseeable future. Is down through the Geico restart zone. David Trailer, the control car on the outside lane, will see the green flag, but he spins the tires, gets up into the fence. Drivers dodging him. Drivers trying to get out of the way. Matt Hayden down onto the apron, loses a ton of speed and momentum. That's going to really make things interesting down here into corner number 1 and 2. Look at him spread out 3, 4 wide, almost 5 wide here at the back of the pack. Is everyone trying to figure out what they need to do? Is a big mistake in a David Trailer Jr. on that restart, and it hands Clinton Woodby the race lead. So Woodby out in front has this race lead feeling fine here at the front of the field as Philip Toscano in second, trying to hold on to second as here comes Ryan Rose down to his inside. David Trailer Jr. trying to battle back, and look at the 23 already up and through the field here. The 23 ride somehow inside the top 5 already with those fresh tires. My gosh, what a run here late in the race for the 23 as he restarted back in the 18th position. Somehow or another already up inside the top 5 here. Is now look out, contact. Oh baby, they're bouncing off each other back here. It is a hornet's nest as everyone trying to work their way back to the front of the field. Oh man, and a big run right there for the 93 down onto the apron. Look out, that could get hectic as he'll wash back up the racetrack. Looking enough, able to get onto the binders. Avoid running over the 33 right there of John Salino. Everyone still just keeping their car pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately for Kevin Wenker, out of corner number 2, lost a ton of speed and momentum, fell back into about that 20th position, but it is that 23 at Tristan Kyle that everyone's going to be looking at as here he comes to the outside looking for the race lead. Jesse Calloway right there with them. A little bit of rubbing and scrubbing down the back straightaway with only 7 laps left to go here in this race, and it is on like Donkey Kong here at the front as Philip Toscano gets up into the outside fence right there. That's going to scrub off a ton of speed and momentum for that 20 ride. He'll fall back now into about the 10th position as Tristan Kyle will take over the race lead. Tristan Kyle now with the quickest lap in this race and the race lead here and late in this one, just hoping that it's enough to keep everyone back there at bay. But here comes Jesse Calloway. It's been a long time coming for Calloway to potentially put himself up and into victory lane, but he bounces it off the outside fence. Hang on to the 87 right. Yanks having some troubles down out of corner number 2 as well. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it. Keep that car pointed in the right direction, but Tristan Kyle out in front. Here comes Rusty Modesty. Modesty down low. He'll make the move around Jesse Calloway. Calloway will slide back into third. Does Modesty have enough to jump up here and take this win away from Tristan Kyle as Clinton would be in position number 4. Jackson Connell there in 5th with the 54. David Trailer in that 6th position. Ryan Rose there in 7th. And there's the caution flag. Yellow flag will come back out. Yellow flag as the 18 machine, the Mobile One ride of Evan Schilling turned around, pointed the wrong direction. Caution flag will come back out, and it looks like we may be headed to maybe a little NASCAR overtime here this evening. Let's take a look at it. Him and Joe Yanks. This is battling just inside our top 10, and it looks like Yanks going to come up the track right there. Unfortunately, just gets into the 18 ride, hooks him around right here. Let's see if we can get another angle at it and see the contact here as the 18 ride even moves up higher towards the fence. The 87 trying to get a better arc into the corner. Unfortunately, just comes up too high. Gets into that left rear quarter panel of the 18, and it just hooks him and spins him around right there. And unfortunately, that's a tough break for Evan Schilling, and obviously a tough break for our race leaders. That's going to put us under another caution flag and another restart. There's the contact. There goes the 18 ride. That's all she wrote there for him as he goes for a loop-de-loop. Now good enough that everyone else able to avoid him. No one else runs him over. So that's a good break right there. That could have got a whole lot more hectic in a quick hurry. All right, caution flag out. What do you do this late in the race? Do you come down pit side? Do you make another pit stop? Do you have an extra set of tires potentially back there behind pit wall? If anyone's got one, you got to use them now. You may not have another opportunity to put those tires onto your race car. So if you got them, you got to use them here. But if you don't have them, then, I mean, you just got to roll with the punches and you know, see where this puts you here late in the race as we do see Drivers like Kevin Winker didn't really move too far forward right there, but we do see Colton Hardy make his way down pit side. Scott Rankin also headed down pit road. Skylar Berry, some pretty good damage here on the front end of that 46 ride. Looks like he's gotten up into the outside fence, maybe some contact with another slower driver out there as well. And for the for 46, definitely not the damage that he was hoping to have here this evening, but he's got that quick repair, able to use them, and able to roll back out there. Now let's take a look here at Colton Hardy. Does Hardy got tires? Does he get anything done to this ride, or is he just coming in for fuel and maybe some damage repair potentially on this 97 ride? Because it doesn't look like they're jacking him up. Doesn't look like they're doing anything to this race car, so looks like maybe just getting some repairs, getting some fuel into that ride and rolling back out onto the racetrack. What about Scott Rankin? Let's play this back, see if Rankin was able to get any tires right here. Does not look like it, but I do believe that's the culprit that may have gotten ran into from the 46 ride. Yes, he's got some pretty heavy rear end damage, so I do believe we saw Skylar Berry get into the back end of that 49 ride, and that's where they got their damage. So they'll go to the back of the pack. They'll get ready to restart here and try to work their way back to the front of the field. It's out in front. It's the 23 of Tristan Kyle. Tristan, one of the drivers that brought out a caution flag there earlier in this race, that brought out the caution flag there around lap number 70-ish or so. That kind of put us into this bit of a late race mess here this evening. And then obviously we saw the 39 ride of Jackson Connell brought out the penultimate caution flag there, the last caution flag. And that got us once again under this kind of a mess there with about 10 laps left to go. But here they are, fresh tires, able to race their way back up towards the front of the field. Tristan Kyle leading this race. Jackson Connell in about position number 5 here, getting ready for this restart. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out for them. If those yellow flags ended up being not only their kryptonite, but also their helping hand on getting good finishes here this evening, as both drivers were back outside the top 15, basically outside the top 20 there at the time of the caution flags here this evening. And we'll have to see if Tristan Kyle can hold off Rusty Modesty, the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway, Clinton Woodby, David Traylor, Jackson Connell, Joe Yanks, Ryan Rose, and the rest of the field here this evening, as Kyle is going to elect that outside lane. Now, the last driver we saw restart in the outside lane was David Traylor. We saw how that went for the 54 ride, spinning those tires and unfortunately getting up into the outside fence, losing a ton of speed and momentum as we were going back to green flag racing. Really broke up that front of the pack, and all of a sudden it just kind of slid him backwards. Luckily enough, able to hang on to a top 6 so far, but we'll see if he can regain any more positions here on this restart. We did see the 5 ride of Matt Hayden starting inside the top 10, fell outside the top 15 there, so he's back in about the 17th position, getting ready to try to battle back here in this one. So here we go, down and out of corner number 4 for what could be our final restart of the day here for the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League, as these drivers see the pace car make the hard left-hand turn back down through the Geico restart zone. Tristan Kyle with the perfect restart, gets a great launch, does not spin the tires, and able to open up a couple car length lead. That's exactly what he needed here for this green-white checkered finish. As a green-white checkered finish, if we see the green flag, nope, there it is. Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag, just as we were getting going here again. Looks like the 97 of Colton Hardy going to have some issues here. Let's take a look at it. Maybe some tire spin in front of him. Nope, looks like he's just going to get ran over. 13 ride, getting a good jump right there. 97 ride, not really firing all the way. And looks like the 13 just going to run into the back end of him. Shows him up the racetrack into the driver's side door. Scott Rankin, unfortunately for the 97, he will go around. The 49 comes down the racetrack, ends up actually clipping the 13 maybe. Nope, just avoids him. But for the QH Designs winning bid ride, definitely not the restart he was looking for there, and turned around right at the flag stand. Our flag man going to be quick to put the green flag away after the 97 crosses the line there, as he finally took the green flag. They will throw the caution flag right out, and that will get us ready for another big restart here. So we'll have to get them all stacked up, and we'll have to get ready to do this all over again. So it's not over until it's over, and for Tristan Kyle, that good restart may have been the move he needed to try to win this race. unfortunately, it may cost him it. We'll have to wait and see if that good restart maybe gave away some of his secrets, and maybe that can help the timing up for the 6th round Rusty Mossy a little bit more, and maybe give him something to kind of think and plan about here for this next restart, as we'll get them all ready to go back to battle here. We'll see if anyone elects to come down pit side. I don't think we're going to see virtually anyone probably inside the top 10 make their way down pit side. I'd be surprised if we saw virtually anyone except for drivers who may have damage head down pit road, as we do see Gregory Wood Sr. ends up taking his 13 ride down pit row. We do see Colton Hardy. He's going to stay out as well. So even with that little bit of left rear damage, not going to get it fixed, he'll stay out there on the racetrack, and we'll get them all fixed up and quickly ready to rock and roll here again, ready to try to go back to battle. And for Tristan Kyle, he'll have to try to hit another perfect restart. As we'll be right back here in a quick second or two, and we'll get back into the racing action here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere, as this is going to be a lot of fun. As Winker says, holy crap, that was wild off there too, laughing loud. It was wild all over the place there, K-Dub. Wild all over the place. So we'll be right back here in 2 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere, as potentially our final green-white checkered about to come right at you, and we'll crown tonight's race winner.
Engine scream, asphalt burns, the grips at Campbell. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trash, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trash, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Michigan International Speedway for what could be our final attempt at NASCAR overtime, as Tristan Kyle, another perfect restart. Here we go, looking for 3 wide down into corner number 1 as a big move out of the 39 of Jackson Connell. Connell down low, looking to move around Jesse Calloway and Clinton Woodby. Looks like he's going to slide up in front of the 4 right. They make a little contact as the 4 bounces off the outside fence. But out of corner number 2, it's all the 23. Tristan Kyle with a commanding lead down the back straightaway into corner number 3. He is just hoping he can get back to this white flag here as quickly as possible. Does not want to see another caution flag fly as Rusty Modesty about 4 or 5 car lengths off his back bumper, and there we go. The white flag has been displayed. So one more time around here this evening as Tristan Kyle with the race lead. The 6 of Modesty there in second. Jackson Connell in position number 3, but looking to make the move around the 6 right, gets a little loose, almost washes up into the 6 machine of Modesty. Modesty trying to get the big run down the back back straight away. This is one more shot, one more opportunity for him to potentially put himself into the winner's circle here this evening. But Tristan Kyle, a few car lengths in front of him, does not look like he will get there. Is down and out at corner number 4. It's the 23 of Tristan Kyle, who picks up the checkered flag here this evening at Michigan International Speedway. Kyle gets it done here today with Modesty back in second, and it's Jesse Calloway who's able to jump up and steal position number 3 away from Jackson Connell. So Calloway comes home in third, Connell there in fourth. Ryan Rose will round out our top 5 with K-Dub Kevin Winker back in position number 6. David Traylor Jr., Clinton Woodby, Philip Toscano, and Michael Miller rounding out our top 10 here this evening. But it's all Tristan Kyle as he's going to get a congratulations bump right there from the 78 ride. Takes the outside fence, but able to keep on rolling here as he'll get ready to celebrate here this evening. Man, what a run, what a drive there for that 23 ride, putting himself up and into victory lane. Man, what a drive for the 23 here this evening. Still get ready to pull it into victory lane, burn down the house here in Michigan as Tristan Kyle picks up the win. What a drive out of that 23, and we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. I do believe, I don't know if we got these guys in here or not. I don't know where they're hiding in the Discord, but hopefully we can get them up there. There is Tristan Kyle in the Ignite Motorsports channel. It does look like he's going to jump up here. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner as Tristan Kyle picks up the checker flag here this evening. Hey, Tristan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
What's going on? How you doing?
Not too bad, Tristan, man. What a run. What a drive, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, a lot of different strategy, a lot of different race calls on the fly that you guys got to make here this evening, man. And then, obviously, these late race caution flags end up coming out to help you here. A late one, you're able to come down pit side along with a lot of other drivers. You put fresh tires onto this 23 ride. We saw you restarting back about 18th, and then with that, crazy restart, David Traylor spinning the tires in the outside lane really stacks up a bunch of these drivers, and all of a sudden, you're just sliding right on through and around a lot of these drivers and up inside the top 5. You chase down our race leaders and quickly take over the race lead here with about 5-6 laps left to go here in this race. And once you took that race lead, you were not giving it up here as you just kept hitting these restarts perfectly, giving yourself that little bit of a gap, that bit of breathing room between yourself and Rusty Modesty and the rest of our field here in this race, man. Take us back through it and what's kind of going through your mind here after a crazy night of racing action.
Oh, it's a pleasant surprise for sure. We struggled there for whole race, like 5th to 8th place speed, I feel like. Yeah, I learned from Vegas because I ended up taking a set late, and I decided, let's save this set and see what happens, and then caught a nice lucky caution there, and then got a good restart, and I never looked back, so I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you can kind of make those gambling moves and they pay off for you, man, they're always that much more enjoyable and that much more pleasurable. But obviously here late in this one, you had a lot of pressure. You had those 2 green-white checkers, and you got so many hungry drivers back there behind you. When you look at Modesty or Callaway, Jackson Connell, Ryan Rose, or Winker, and so many other talented drivers back there behind you, we're getting a little nervous that maybe one of them had those fresh tires in one of those final restarts, and we're going to be making the same moves that we saw of you earlier on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at the end who had tires, so we'll take it for sure though. Good start to the year.
Absolutely great start to the year, 3rd race in, and you're able to get the monkey off your back and put yourself up and into victory lane here in week number 3. Always make you feel that much better, and obviously now punching your ticket into the playoffs here in the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League. Tristan, who would you like to thank not only for the great run here tonight, but now being able to be a playoff driver here in the series?
I don't really know who I have to thank here. I guess thank luck, because I probably did not have the fastest car today, and got away with one, so.
Beauty. Hey, sometimes, brother, it's better to be lucky than good out there on the racetrack.
That's right.
But here tonight, you had a little bit of both, and they work together, and it puts you up here into the Michigan International Speedway victory lane. Tristan, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here, potentially back in victory lane next Friday.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Absolutely, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Tristan Kyle, as Kyle gets the job done and pulls that 23 up and into victory lane, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It's Rusty Modesty. Let's pull Modesty up here into the booth. Hey, Rusty, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You can copy?
Hey, Aaron, good to hear from you again.
Good to hear from you as well, brother, man. What a run. What a drive for you here in this one. Obviously, Michigan, big wide track, tires, such a big name of the game here. Fuel always comes into play. What was going to go through your mind here? Obviously, a lot of different strategy, a lot of different issues out there with the 2 early caution flags, and then we see that big, long green flag run. And then a few caution flags here late in the race, really to mix things up here. And having those fresh tires definitely playing dividends. You're able to have that extra set back in your rear pocket, and then just being able to try to navigate your way through traffic, trying to catch up that 23 rider Tristan Kyle, but at the same point in time, also trying to hold off some of these other fast drivers on your back bumper, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind right now as the dust settles here at Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, it started off by me having taking a phone call for work and not qualifying. So I think I ended up starting P20 in the field, and just knew that I was going to take it easy and try to conserve the tires. Tire conservation was pretty big here tonight, and technically we had an extra set, but I kind of figured, hey, as cautions fly, you might get a use for them. During the first cycle through the first stage, man, I just forgot to turn tires on. So we came in for the first stage, and I didn't take them, and I was like, all right, well, hey, this is my bed. I made it. I'm going to live in it. So that kind of changed my strategy, and ended up going a lap down for a little bit, but due to some cautions, basically came back and now had that extra set, was on the lead lap, and was able to kind of bust butt. And luckily, even on there towards the end, as the tires evened out, I think I made it up to top 4, top 5, which is I was pretty happy with. Um, and then that late caution came out, and I had the extra set, so I was like, yeah, let's do it. Now's the time. This is why you have them. And it worked out. So there's some chaos on that restart. I think we probably could have done a little better. I think Tristan really made hay in a chaotic restart where I played a little bit conservative because I didn't want to destroy my car or these brand new tires I just put on. So it took a little bit longer for me to work through the field, and that was kind of the game changer, and what really drove home Tristan tonight versus me.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw him make his way through that traffic rather quickly there. Restarted back in about the 18th position, and it was only about a lap or so later we saw him working his way inside the top 5. You guys were back there trying to follow in behind him, but a few car lengths back, and yeah, that's could be the difference maker. Just getting to the front, getting that fresh air, and then having control of those late race restarts were obviously the difference maker here this evening between putting yourself back up in victory lane or, Tristan Kyle being able to get it done and putting himself up here like we saw tonight. But, man,
Yeah.
hell of a run, hell of a drive for that 6th ride as you get a second-place run here, man. And a solid performance, obviously picking up a lot of positions. We see between the top 3 of you guys, I mean, Tristan started back in 16th. You started there in 20th. And we saw Jesse Calloway start in 22nd. So the drivers that were at the rear of the field made their way to the front here. And you guys did it in some pretty, very stylish fashion here late in this race.
Yeah, you mentioned the restarts, and you're spot on with that. Man, it was just hard to capture anything on him with a restart. It seems like every time he was getting a car to 2 car advantage, and man, just tried everything I could and just didn't get it. But yeah, hey, you see that tire strategy? I think we're all on the same tire strategy, and you see what it did. So it's like you take your medicine early, and you get rewarded for it late in the race, and that's exactly what happened today. So.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely paid off for you as this Rusty park it up here in position number 2. 1 spot shy of capturing the victory yourself, brother, but nonetheless a absolutely amazing performance. And who would you like to thank for the great run and great drive out there on the racetrack here tonight?
Yeah, shout out to the team. Running with Ryan and Matt and Jimmy. here in this league this season. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to all the admins who are putting all this on and orchestrating all this. This has been a fun season so far. Shout out to you at Peacemaker. Everyone likes watching the broadcast, friends and family. Just to keep everyone up to speed and entertained with what we do here week to week. And lastly, shout out to Challenger Racing League and Misfit Motorsports and Lindsay Fitzmaurice.
Absolutely. Well, Rusty, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight, brother. We can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack next Friday and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe one spot better and up in victory lane there at Dover.
Yes, sir. Let's keep talking to each other, all right?
Absolutely, brother. Let's make a thing of it.
Take care.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Rusty Modesty, as Modesty comes home in position number 2 as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place driver, Jesse Calloway. Calloway coming home here in third. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jesse, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Jesse, man, what a run, what a drive for you here tonight, man. A lot of different things going on, a little bit of back and forth for you. Obviously, starting deep in the field. I do believe at one point in time we saw you lap down. You were able to get it back, and here you are late in the race, having that extra set of tires in your back pocket. You put them on at the right time as you're able to slice and dice your way up through the traffic, and then there at the end, during those green-white checkers, duking out with Jackson Connell and Rusty Modesty, Ryan Rose, and you're able to just jump up and steal that third spot away from Jackson here this evening to round out our podium here tonight, man. Take us back through it, and did you think you'd be up here talking to us this afternoon?
Oh man, it was a eventful race for sure. I started out with a penalty, had to do a drive-through, and then was able to stay on lead lap and end up a lap down. I think after the stage, or me and Wise got together, and yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's just a slight contact, close quarter racing, and brought out the caution. But yeah, it put me really behind. I think I was a lap down for well over half the race. So this is a good track for me. I mean, I really like it. I expected to have a good run, but I mean, given I knew I was going to start out with a drive-through from last week, just mistakes that I had, and uh, I was determined to come back up. I didn't think it was going to take that long, but yeah, podium. I didn't really expect that, so it's good to get that from having such a crazy start.
Yeah, a crazy start and a crazy finish for you here tonight, but you're able to park that 4 ride up here on the podium at Michigan International Speedway here in the Campbell's Kneecap Soup 180 here at the Full Throttle Outlaws, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and crazy drive here this evening, being able to park it up here on the podium?
Thanks to anybody out there watching, friends and family. Big thanks to Loose Lug Nuts team, uh, everybody that sponsors this league, QH Design, Johnny Johnson Motorsports, the Winning Bid. I know there's quite a few I'm going to forget, but thanks to everybody that makes this league happen. Colton Hardy, David Trailer, Joe Yakes, everybody. I really appreciate them. Yeah.
Well, Jesse, heck of a run, heck of a drive, brother, and hopefully we'll see you back up here a few more times on the season up here in the broadcast booth, and hopefully one of these nights we'll get you up here first, as maybe we'll get you up here in Victory Lane one of these days.
Yeah, man, I hope so. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely, brother. Well, congratulations on the third place run here tonight, and hopefully, as I said, man, maybe next week will be the night. Maybe there at Dover we'll see this 4 ride up in Victory Lane.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll look forward to it.
Beauty.
Thanks.
Jesse, enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jesse Calloway, as Jesse comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Great run, great drive there for that 4 ride here this evening. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening. Racing action coming to a close, man, after a great run, great performance, and great drive by each and every one of these Absolutely amazing performers out there on the racetrack. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers, man. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. And we will, we'll be back up here tomorrow night. We got a little bit of a money race. I do believe NASCAR trucks tomorrow night. A little bit of a money race, a little bit of crazy action, and a little bit of a preview of, you know, some great racing with a new group of drivers. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys battling tomorrow night as we're off with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. So we figured we'd throw in an extra special event there on a Saturday night to bring you guys a little bit more excitement and action here on Peacemaker Gaming. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you guys back up here tomorrow evening. Peace out for now. And peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, what a drive, man. That was a lot of fun. Woo! That was a heck of a show.
The grips of Campbell, tires squeal, hearts race. This leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal of pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal of pride. Oval dreams